No, you're right. You're right.
Fuck my
Okay,
phone.
we're fucking
I don't
live.
want to speak.
I mean, we're
up.
effing live.
I don't even
Sorry.
give a fuck what you're talking
No,
about.
I second
Charlie.
Reeve.
Yeah.
I don't give a
What?
fuck.
That he was like, this should be on the pod.
Charlie just
whatever.
kept talking. He was like, no.
Yeah, well, it's because he looks like a girl in the corner of my eye. I don't fucking listen to women.
Yeah, when somebody more respectable says
Yeah.
it, then we'll.
Some guy that can beat me up said it.
Yes. Spanish flows.
Yeah, but Spanish, I do think Spanish flows way better than English. But I heard it's because, like, if you put, like, your tongue on the roof of your mouth and you follow it all the way back, you'll hit, like, a squishy spot. When you speak English, that's flexed. And when you speak Spanish, that's not flexed. Yeah, so, like, everything just flows out. Like,
So are you saying Spanish
and then-
girls can suck dick better?
Oh, 100%. You know, I know from...
It feels better?
Yeah, yeah. It
Siempre.
hurts more.
It hurts more
But
with
like,
a softer spot in their
but-
mouth?
You could even tell the difference in, like, Spanish vowels and English vowels. Like, we're like A, E, I. Like, we add extra I. It's for us, it's A, E, O, U. There's no U. It's U.
Yeah, that's why like Spanish rap isn't near as hard.
No,
as
everything
American
rhymes
rap.
already. Everything
Yeah.
already rhymes.
It's a romantic language.
Yeah.
It's a lot more
It's too
harder.
nice.
It's better than like French
English.
Yeah, French is
It's like Canadian-
I hate French.
French Canadian
The way
rappers.
French is spelt. France spells shit. It pisses me off. They're like, oh, this is you know, it'll be like CXR apostrophe STER. I'm like, that's how you spell croissant. I was like, how?
Yeah, it's like EUX.
Yeah,
like
how the
some
fuck
weird
does that
shit.
spell anything?
That's
Yeah.
O. That's
Yeah.
O.
Yeah, the
EUX.
Spanish alphabet makes the most sense to me.
Yeah,
Even as an English speaker.
Verdad.
yeah, everything in Spanish is spelled exactly how it sounds.
Yeah.
Does anybody know any derogatory terms for French people?
French N-word.
Well, yeah, you can just add. In
Yeah. Any slur
Scott,
towards
you want to
gays.
chime in on that?
Yeah, any slur towards
Let's sit this one
homosexuals
out.
also applies to the French.
Yeah,
Verdad.
I know some of the Spanish slurs.
Oh, let me hear them.
Do tell.
No, hoto
Yeah. What does that one mean?
means
Did everyone
It means what?
it's a derogatory term for a homosexual, I believe.
Ooh, hello. The F word?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a direct translation, but
No, hoto means gay,
and
basically.
yeah, and then what's the one they use more often? Maricon.
Yeah, maricon. That means.
Oh,
I don't know why that sounds like 3 beeps.
Is that also a letter?
Maricon.
Hota. Ka.
Oh yeah.
What's that? H?
Wait,
Yeah.
Hota ka I.
It's a letter.
Yeah, it is
Well,
weird.
it's hoto. Is the
Yeah.
Hota ka.
It's masculine.
Yeah,
It's
Hey,
most
hey.
words in Spanish have double meaning. Like hola means hello. It also means wave, like an ocean wave, or like a wave in general, or whatever. There's a lot of shit like that. And like, yeah, you could add like change one letter, it means something completely different. I'm trying to think of a good example. Being like hombre means man, hombre means hungry,
Yeah.
hoto means gay, fucking, and then jota is the letter J.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Letter
had to
J.
start from A to
Yeah,
get-
then
figure out
E.
which one that was.
E means the letter I, and it also means and.
Yeah.
Well, E is Y, right?
okay, so what's the double meaning of maricon?
Maricon just means like
Maricon?
it means like faggot, basically. I mean,
You got the word.
Yeah, the censor sounds like pussy ass bitch.
Sounds like a weather warning.
uh,
Yeah, dude.
Look,
The following counties.
Get my fight or flight going.
There's a flood alert.
I think that's I think this fucking podcast sucks. I think I'm ending this podcast.
Yeah.
No, we should keep doing it, but yeah, I agree, it does suck.
Well, there's one constant.
It's the Chupar era.
We just need to start brainstorming like more ideas. Like I don't mean to like just like harp on like Legion of Skanks, but like they have like just I don't know. And granted, they probably all have more free time to do like fucking silly
They
shit.
have a bunch of
but,
methadone addicts that sit around all week and try to think of ideas.
Yeah. They're literally just like they get into the craziest shit, and I don't feel like.
Oh, hold on. I need cigarettes. I know that's why it's sucking. I forgot this is a cigarette podcast.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
that's why it's like. So you're talking about this episode in particular, the one we're 5 minutes in.
Bro, There's some good comedy games out there we could play.
Some good comedy games. Yeah.
I actually found one that I thought was tight. But there's like, if you just Google comedy trivia game, dude, there's multiple websites.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I want to come up with something like unique, like Are You Garbage?
Yeah.
That's such a good idea.
I almost jacked Story Wars, and I was like, before they started Story Wars, when they did on Legion of Skanks, I was like, yeah, we should like do that. We just like put stories together, and then just try to like put it on somebody. And then they made it a show, and I was like, yeah, I was just stealing their idea also.
Yeah. I mean,
But no one's playing comedy trivia games that I know of.
yeah. I mean, that'd be fun. But I mean, I think you throw shit in, different stuff. But I just like the idea of talking, just having,
The Wikipedia game was
having a
fire.
conversation.
Yeah, I do like the name CHARLAR just means to chat in Spanish. And
And it also means gay. It's a double meaning. Like
one of
every
those
other
double
word in
meanings,
Spanish.
yeah. But you'd think you could get a room full of comedians and we'll be fucking laughing our asses off, but then we're talking this those fucking boring shit.
Well, because no one,
because we suck.
because everybody just laughed at their own jokes. That's all it is.
We're in a little bubble, and
Like we gotta act like we're on stage in front of a bunch of hot chicks. I don't know what you guys are into.
Wow,
Hot
that'd be-
dudes. Actually no hot dudes for you guys, and and then you'll feel the pressure to want to be entertaining and funny. But also, I don't really care about that either. I think I just want to have conversations.
I feel like if you feel pressure to be funny, then you won't be funny.
I remember I learned about this in school. It's like this even happens to cockroaches too. So this is like an early thing that happens in nervous systems. But I think it's still like I don't remember the name of it. I'm gonna butcher it. But basically, the idea is when people watch you, you'll either do better or worse depending on your own skill level. Like if you suck at something and someone watches you do it, you're gonna do worse. But if you're good at something and someone watches you, you're actually gonna do better.
What's the?
I think that change.
control?
I think there's a thing in fighting where like some people, there's been people that are like really good fighters and like crush it in the gym when no one's watching, but then they go out and get locked in a cage in front of a crowd of people and they just like are like a shell of themselves.
Yeah, but I think it's because that's an internal
Yeah,
feeling.
there's like some people can perform under the lights and some people can't.
Yeah, but I think it has to do with like how capable you think of your own ability.
Yeah, you have to.
right?
It's confidence.
Because
basically.
whenever I go on stage now, I'm like, I'm about to crush it. Like I already know in my head I'm going to do well. So when I go up, I manifest that into being.
Then
I
you're
do
just
well.
disappointed.
Yeah, and then
everything comes back to the secret.
exactly, everything comes back to the secret, dude. With everyone, the secret is just you just think about it all day.
you think like a cockroach. No, I'm just kidding. I forgot where you were going with the cockroach thing.
Oh, but that even happens to cockroaches. Like a cockroach that solved the maze only once. If he has other cockroaches watching him, he'll solve it even worse the second time. But a cockroach that solved the maze like 1,000,000 times.
Stupid fucking
When other
cockroach.
cockroaches are watching him, he did it even better and faster. And then talk about like LeBron or something. I don't remember which athlete was an example, but he says he plays better during the games.
How do they make other cockroaches watch?
Yeah.
They fucking duct tape him to the ground.
You suck, cockroach. They just heckle him.
Yeah, cockroach heck, dude. That'd be terrible.
And it's all
Cockroach open
hissing.
mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bomb people, just cockroaches just fall from the ceiling on you.
Jesus Christ. I was thinking more like bombing 2 cockroaches, like that. You know how shitty that has to be.
Oh god.
Can you make a cockroach laugh? I
fucking
don't know what
hate
they would joke
cockroaches.
about. Like, I ate some shit today. I don't know. Do they eat shit? I don't fucking know what cockroaches eat.
I don't know.
I think they eat anything and everything.
They're prevalent
In
in
your
my
house.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What advice would you give somebody that wants to start comedy?
I would say if you want to start comedy, just fucking start, dude. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. That's anything. Like, oh, what do I do if I want to start banking? Bitch, walk into a bank. I don't know. You know what I mean?
You should probably start throwing your own shows and booking yourself as the headliner immediately.
Yeah.
As soon as you start comedy, literally your very first show, just book it, do a fucking solid hour and a half.
Put on the flyer that you're gonna do 30 minutes.
Do an hour and a half.
So everyone expects 30 minutes from you.
And put some other big name on the flyer too that like definitely won't be there, but say they will be. Use their face and get people in the door.
JB Smooth.
I would say someone that does want to start comedy, I'd say, well, yeah, just do it. But of course, that's like step one. I'd say next, I'd say write some material, practice it, and be ready for your first time.
Yeah.
Because the more ready you are, just the more confident you'll be.
Yeah.
Because I remember my first set, I like written and rehearsed it for like 2 weeks before I ever went up, and I went up and it did good, and then I got hooked. Because I think if you bomb for the first time, you'll probably be discouraged.
Yeah. But also, I would say, yeah, writing and rehearsing is very important, especially for your first sets. And also, you should care. You do not want to bomb, but also you need to bomb. Like you need to bomb.
Fucking dick off.
Yeah, you need to go.
Yeah.
You need to go eat shit
You need to go to
because
fucking Palestine.
if it means something to you, that won't stop you.
Yeah.
So you need to experience that early. It'll either make you better or you'll realize this isn't for me.
Well, and even that first laugh, even if it's a small one that you get while you're bombing, you're like, oh shit, that's something right there. And going ahead and getting that bomb out of the way and just realizing like, hey, this is part of it. Because if you go fucking 6 months to a year and you don't ever really bomb, you know, which I don't think is, you know, ever really happened, but I have heard of a couple of people where like they, you know, do well very early on and they don't bomb until like several months in. And then when they really, really eat shit and nobody laughs at any of their fucking material, then they're like devastated.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I don't know if this is for me.
And honestly, if you prioritize trying new shit, you should bomb. Like you shouldn't just sit back on what you know works. Like if you don't take any risks, like if you don't bomb, you're not gonna get better. Honestly,
Exactly. Yeah, because I think comedy is a lot like, you know, I've heard it described like magic, where it's like, but you're trying to pull Bugs Bunny out of a hat instead of, you know, a normal one. Because like, cause humor is very like, it's all about misdirection and shit. What the fuck? You guys
you're
fucking laugh.
pulling Bugs Bunny out of a hat.
Instead of a regular
Hey
one.
guys, you guys ever see Bugs Bunny come out of a hat?
And so once people know the trick is not as special anymore, right? And so that's why they always want people to do new stuff. But I think it's also like gymnastics or like the Olympics, in which people want to see you stretch yourself to the fullest of your ability. You know, she's like a figure skater and she's twirling. She's twirled 5 times. That's like the record. And then during the Olympics, she twirls 6. And she lands and she does the voila. Everyone goes crazy and they roar. They would go crazy and roar if she did 5, but seeing her do that 6, just really that extra mile. And so the same
Raising
with
the
humor.
bar.
'Cause I think most comedy fans are closeted comedians, right? Just like how most sports fans are closeted athletes. You know, like they all think they could do it, and they all have their opinion on it, but they want to see it done at a high level. A high level they know that they can't do. And so I think that's why people are fans of crowd work, because like that's being witty off the spot. That's a difficult thing to do.
And they're
could write
fucking
and rehearse.
retards.
Yeah, people could write and rehearse, but to be funny on the spot is a lot more difficult. And but that's more advanced techniques. If you're just starting out, just write, rehearse, or fuck it. If you want this is your first 5 minutes to be crowd work, fuck it, do that too. You know, don't if you do what everyone else is doing, you're gonna get everyone else's results. You know, you shouldn't be afraid of being weird or whatever, because then you'll get the interesting results. No one normal ever did anything exceptional.
And just be you. Like don't fucking pick a topic that like try to say something that is like uniquely you.
Yeah.
Don't fucking just like regurgitate a version of a joke that every open micer has done.
Yeah,
ever.
don't be a hack.
Yeah.
But I think that would say that someone starting out.
It's also like if you have something like unique to your life, like in your story, you know, if you can find a way to talk about that and make it funny, like I feel like that just like gives you an easy start to like, not easy, but like it gives you something to talk about that like one is hopefully not hacky. Like maybe there's something in it that's kind of hacky, but if it truly really happened, you know, whatever, along with some other unique thing, but it just sets your material apart instead of like trying to have a unique take on bathrooms or whatever the
stories
fuck.
is actually a good.
Yeah.
It's like real life experience.
Yeah, and again, finding a way to make that funny, because like I've tried to talk about my real life shit and it never goes.
I'm not a good storyteller either, but to go along with what you're saying, there has been times where I was like, I didn't want to go to something, and I was like, fuck it, like let's just go and maybe I'll get something out of it. And I literally have gotten some, like I went to a fucking my wife's best friend's cousins was having a party in Auburn, and they were like drinking and stuff, and I was like, I don't even want to be here. And they were playing a drinking game with cards, and that's literally how I came up with my drinking games bit. It was like, because I went to this thing that I didn't want to go to, and I was like fuck, I was trying to find any way I could to get out of it, and I was like, maybe I'll get something out of it, and I got one of my best jokes out of it, and I was like,
yeah, I definitely do think like a good comedian probably should live life as
you need
possible.
to get out and like experience things.
100%.
So you just stay home all the time, you're not going to be able to like tap into anything, because you're just hey, do you guys play PlayStation? That's like the only thing you got.
Yeah, that's all you do all day. Isn't it crazy? In Helldivers 2, you start out like dude, no one knows what you're talking about.
You guys see that new Warhammer drop?
Yeah, dude, it's so funny because when I first started, I was looking at my old notes, like the first page I ever wrote, and I was writing about like video games that I would play, like you guys know the game Rust, dude. That game, it's like, dude, no one knows Rust. Shut the fuck up. That's like,
and that's another thing too, is write your shit and keep it.
yeah.
Like, I wish I stuck with handwriting stuff, because I have a bunch of pages of like jokes and sets that I've done, and I was like, dude, I fucking love having these as just like archives.
Yeah.
Because I have like, now I have just pages of notes in my phone, but I wish I kind of stuck with handwriting. I want to get back into handwriting, but I've just kind of just been doing it in my phone.
I wouldn't be mad if everybody started carrying around field notes. That's all I'm saying. I
brought a little notebook with me. I just am so used to writing it in the notes app on my
the
phone.
only wing I write on hand, like whenever I have my notebook, is like the titles of the bits, and then in my notebook is where I organize them. Like, all right, tonight I'll pull from this. Like the first 3 pages will be like all my material, and then I'll have like maybe 4 extra blank pages, so I keep adding to it, and then the rest of the pages are just like almost like acronyms. Like RBF is like resting bitch face bit, and then like and then from there I'll organize it.
Yeah, the more you do jokes too, they just become like one word or like something, and you know the entire. You just like look down and see it.
Yeah, and I do think it's good to write out the entire thing, which I'm learning that now
for memory, especially if you handwrite it. That actually, because like you literally spend the time writing out each fucking word.
Yeah, but I wrote all my notes online.
I used to do that, and I have done it recently. I actually got back into it, but I have all my jokes written out word for word in my notebook app. And then, so if I got a set for whatever night, I can copy and paste the whole joke in there, just so if I think of a new tag or a new something's different, I can change something. I can put it in there so I don't forget.
Yeah.
Now the new joke's in there, so because before, like I'd like, oh shit, remember that tag, and then I just wouldn't. But now if I have it written down with the rest of the joke, I'm like, oh shit, all right, say that.
And that's one good thing about if you save notes and like bits. You might throw something out and be like, this isn't fucking hitting. I can't get it to work right. And then like you come back a few months later and you're just like looking through old shit and you're like, I think I know how I could flip that or like switch something out.
I've had actually almost all my material is that like old notes that it finally clicks. Like I go back.
It feels so good. You're like, I knew I had
literally
something.
Almost all my set now is literally that. Like notes I wrote literally years ago, and then now it finally makes sense to me and how I'm gonna present it.
That's a good feeling, is coming back to something and flipping it a different way, and then be like.
That's why I've been doing the same set for so long, because like this is technically a really old set, but it just finally like I found how to do it, and that's really satisfying. Especially in terms of like a joke, like making a joke, because like you can have like bits, but if there's not a clear punchline, it's hard to get people into the rhythm of your comedy. It feels
like it's just a premise. You're just like dancing around a premise.
Yeah, like,
which is what I'm trying to do with my new material. And then once I feel like I have it locked down, then I'm gonna start handwriting it to where like then it's engraved. This is how I remember the bit, because I'm still trying to like play around with premises right now. And then once I lock them down, I'll start handwriting them.
The set I did yesterday in Atlanta, all the comics. They were just saying premises, like, and they were even like, okay, I've got no punchline for that.
Yeah, you have to have something to hit at the end.
You have to have something, and And lately, I've been trying to expand my, I guess, jokes and premises. That's why lately, I mean, I'll go on stage like when we went to Hype. I want to say it was 4 minutes, and DUV told me I could do 10. I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to do 10. And so I just tried to expand. Like I did a 4 minutes. I did it at Laughing Skull, and I've just been doing that and trying to stretch it to as long as I can. I'm able to hit like 10 minutes just by talking shit in between jokes, expanding the ideas a bit. Like I'm trying to expand the just
being silly.
yeah, and see, and I think it gets people more engaged.
Yeah.
Because then you're not sure when the next joke will hit. So then you start talking, and then boom, punchline, and then it gets a laugh. I think it keeps them hooked.
Yeah, I've got a few jokes right now that are kind of just like the whole fucking sensory deprivation tank thing is just, we're just like, hey, this is what the Chilean miners felt like, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, which I think that's a pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think that's a funny bit.
Also, I was like, I don't even know if people remember the Chilean miners.
Yeah. They probably think the Chilean miners are fucking Diddy's victims.
Just like young Chilean kids.
You could probably even add that to the bit, like Chilean miners. Like I'm not talking about Diddy's victims.
Yeah.
I'm like coal miners.
I keep wanting to like go up after you and be like, Scott looks like the type of guy who deals with a different type of Chilean miners, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's one thing.
Take advantage of that.
Yeah,
I do mention that I was like, because they were trapped underground for 69 days.
Yeah.
I'm like, get it?
Yeah.
Retards?
Yeah. No, lately I've been finding a lot of success in treating the audience like a complete.
Yeah, so like you have to just like spoon feed them.
Yeah, you guys know Google.com?
Yeah.
Like, and that gets people laughs. Like, and I do think it's funny. Like, I've been trying to expand my bits, of course, like with the DeBaby's penis bit. Once his penis leaked on the internet, I was like, there's something funny there, and I realized, oh, his dick dribbled on the router.
Yeah.
And that doesn't get as much laughs as I'd like. I still have to find like a good tag for that, because the main bit right now is like, I don't even fucking dick leaked all over the router, and now everyone's playing card games and shit in the living room. There's probably something with a better flow that I can say instead. I don't know if you guys ever seen Jerry Seinfeld write a joke.
I listened to his fucking audiobook where he just read 6 hours of every joke he's written for the last 50 years.
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, all right, this is kind of fucking insane.
Yeah, I think that's what they did to Mark Normand.
Yeah.
I think it was MK Ultra, and they put the fucking whole Jerry Seinfeld material.
Clockwork Orange, his eyes.
Yeah, but he has no remembrance of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, comedy. I love Mark Normand, though.
Yeah.
He's one of my faves.
His cadence kind of annoys me sometimes.
Yeah, he does. Lately, his material is.
He always hits that. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fucking bitch. Fuck him. Let's start beef with Mark Normand. Comedy. I love Mark Normand and Sam Morril and Joe List. And
I think if we're going back to the whole advice thing, one thing that helped me, dude, is like, it's gonna sound like super braggadocious, but like, I felt like I was a student of the game before I started. Like I've been watching comedy for years.
A diehard comedian.
Like I already
huge
knew,
fan. Yeah.
Yeah, I already knew who all the like up and comers were. Like,
because then you get the
scenes were.
Years of watching and appreciating it done at a high level. You understand the art. You understand how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, it's like being a huge. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you could finish your.
I was just saying, it's like being a huge music fan. Like if you're really, really into it and you start getting theory and that type of thing, then like you really start getting like, you know, what the musicians go through to get to that point. And then same thing with comedy, where like you get to the point where you're watching, you know, some open mic or, you know, a showcase locally, and you see and start getting, you know, the process of like the growth and see like, oh, there's levels to this shit. And then like, you know, just the basic respect of going to a comedy show, like what you should and shouldn't do and that type of thing. Like,
yeah. I actually wasn't big into comedy until I really started. I knew about comedy since I was like, by the time I was in middle school, I kind of knew I wanted to be a comedian, I would say. Even though I didn't watch it all the time, like my dad didn't watch a ton of comedy. I've seen him watch George Lopez. But that's all I really knew was like George Lopez, Carlos Mencia, like the guys that my dad would watch. And I didn't even watch it. I would watch him watch it. But I knew that was something cool. And that's something I would be into. And then maybe by the time I was like later into high school, and I was like, maybe I will try to be a comedian. That's when I started watching comedy. But I didn't know where to start. So I started with Louis C.K. And now he's still my favorite comedian, I think. just because I love I love his gay style, his bald head, and so I started watching all the greats like Dave Chappelle and all that.
Yeah.
And
I've seen Dave Chappelle's Killing Him Softly maybe 100 times. It's like an
Damn.
insane amount of times.
yeah,
I consume a lot, but especially with podcasts, dude. I'm probably in like the top 1% of the world of like comedy consumption. And I never thought I would do comedy. I've just always like fucking
I
really
didn't think
loved
it was possible. So like the first,
I never thought, I never even considered there would be even a scene around here where I
Yeah.
could do it.
the first comedy like special I remember watching is the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, and like Jeff Foxworthy, Bill Engvall, and Larry the Cable Guy, like they were funny, don't get me wrong, but like Ron White was just on another level, so fucking funny. And I remember watching Ron and being like, how do you get to that? Like I didn't consider, like I really still don't consider myself a funny person, but
well, because you're not.
thank you. My set at the block definitely shows that. But fuck.
Getting to
Get
Ron
her
White.
done.
Ron
Oh
White.
yeah. But like I remember seeing Ron White and just being like, I don't know how the fuck to get to that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how do you practice? One, how do you practice being funny? And two, like, what is the path to getting to that big?
Yeah.
You know, because this was still early internet, you know, when this was going on. So like, it wasn't like it was now, where it was like, oh, just like grow your social media and like, you know.
I
start
think there's a
touring, but,
very
like,
few. I think it's a very small population of people that are just like legitimately natural and next level born to do this best in the world stand-up comedians.
I mean, right here,
Yeah.
baby. No.
And I genuinely don't think it's any of us. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But what also is crazy is like how good you can be at stand-up and even successful. Like you can get things, like you can actually like open for really cool people, fucking get on something, but you could be a great comedian and be straight up fucking broke. Like it is so
Oh, yeah.
hard to get
Yeah.
paid in this business.
Yeah,
I'm
but
straight.
I think. I'm sorry. I'll let you speak, John.
I was just gonna say to your point how accessible. Like you could just fuck around and end up opening for someone like Mark Norman or
Yeah.
somebody like Corbin Laymaster, who came through and did Giovanna's. Like a month later, he was opening for Mark Norman. They just like ran, like I guess Mark liked him or something. So every time they're in the same area, he's like, you want to open for me, or
Yeah.
And so
It's crazy.
Yeah, the consistent pay is hard, but I think that's like. I think it really depends on how much you want it. I think it depends how much you want comedy.
Yeah, I mean,
don't think
you
it's-
could be a road dog and hustle your fucking.
Yeah, I mean
Like-
that's what Dan Alton does. He survives off doing comedy. I mean, I'm sure his life is hell.
Even if he was getting paid, what his life would be fucking psychotic.
But I'm getting ready for that. I'm about to start doing that because fuck it. I mean, I don't know what else I'm gonna do with my life. Like, there's nothing else I want to do. I know I need money though. Like, I know I have to make money or I'm gonna starve to death. And so, that's the main issue I'm trying to solve. But I think if you want something bad enough, you'll figure it out. At least I know I'll figure it out. Like, it's like what white women talk about, dude. You just fucking manifest that shit. You know, you just fucking. You have to be able to see the future. If you don't see the future, then you'll never get anywhere. I think you have to, like, because I see myself becoming that, like, and so I know it's gonna happen if I just keep looking at that, basically. Like, if that's all I look at, then it's what my life will become, and so that's at least my plan. I mean,
I genuinely hope that, like, I think about it sometimes. Like, man, I hope like at least one of my friends blows up and be like, dude, I used to fucking hang out with that dude. Like, we used to fucking party all the time. We used to do CHARLAR podcast.
yeah. Honestly, I think all you guys could probably blow up. It would just take an immense amount of effort.
I'm not I for a fact am not a natural, not a performer. I shouldn't. Everyone in my family is even like, what the? When I first started doing, they're like, Scott's doing fucking stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
That's socially awkward, motherfucker.
Yeah, but that's how it was for me too. Like,
But I just like writing jokes and stuff like that. So
yeah, like when I was in middle school and in high school, only the people that knew me closely knew I was really funny. Like, I was always quiet in school.
Yeah.
I think most people that I went to high school with, if they find out I'm a comedian,
Yeah, you got
half of them would be like, that makes sense. But the other half, like, that guy?
Yeah.
I never heard him.
It's like, yeah, because I wasn't cool. I'm not gonna riff with you, dude. You're a loser.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to find the people that are cool and be like, hey, look at that retard over there. It's like, I can't just say that to anyone. I have to say that to
Yeah.
very cool people.
Yeah, get a load of wheels. And, but
The first funny thing I ever remember saying was racist.
This circles back to more comedy advice, which is if you want to get into comedy, find other comedians, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Because I met Bryson at my first open mic, and then I was kind of hooked, and then I met James at my second one, and then we went from there to the Statesman, and then I was just like, after you make a couple friends, you're like,
oh yeah.
I would have quit. I think about quitting all the time. And I was like, but I still want to see my friends. That's the only reason I come here anymore.
Yeah, that is true.
Take advice from the least bitter comedian in your scene.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Don't
it is.
listen to anybody who is bitter about comedy, their scene,
Yeah.
or the place they live, or themselves.
That is one
100%
thing about
agree.
they get lost in that vision. Some people like start getting really resentful, especially if you see other people do well.
Yeah.
Then they start getting like, why am I not getting anything?
Dude, when I was crazy, I felt that way about all of you when I started doing comedy, because like I felt like by the time I was like in my second year, I was like, why am I never getting gigs? I'm doing No Shame every fucking week, and I'm killing. And then John Fitzpatrick does it for fucking like 6 months, it feels like, and he's got at the Loft. And then like the Scott Walker guy is opening for fucking Mark Norman, and fucking Reevie Wonders, fucking blowing Joe Rogan. That's how it felt in my head.
I just say this.
And like,
None of this is happening.
like that's how it felt in my mind, and I was like, and I'm sitting here just fucking doing No Shame, and fucking sucking myself off in the parking lot, and I felt frustrated, but then I realized also back then I was also like very consistently bombing, almost as much as I was killing, and I was like, okay, I probably need to make a consistent kill, because like I wasn't really refining anything. Just every week I would just be doing random shit, and so once I started refining it is once I started getting shows.
Yeah, you can also get really caught up in like your own head about some stuff too. Like you can go on a streak of like, I don't know, you can get wrapped up, especially like traction on social media if you're posting clips, or like you're worried about your reputation in the local scene.
Yeah.
You're worried about like if someone sees, and then you're like you start to like worry about different things. You're like, dude, I'm not focusing on like writing jokes and performing, which is like what I should be caring about. It's like I'm worried about like if my clip gets fucking traction with the algorithm. It's like, dude, just focus on stand up.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think you're only in competition with yourself. There's no such thing as you versus anyone, or this isn't happening to you. It's only you against yourself. Because that's how I started deciding to see it, and then your life will just be so much saner. Like you won't be going crazy, because I was always worried about like how do I get on the next show, like what, like desperate feeling, and then I'm like, well, actually, fuck it, like I'll just let it happen. Either it happens or it doesn't, and there's only very little power I can do to control other people. So all I can do is just try to keep getting better at stand up.
Just do the mics you can and fucking
try to meet more people.
I actually enjoy mics more because I feel no pressure. Like I can try new shit, and if it bombs, it bombs. And sometimes I'll just even on showcases I'll try to work in new shit. I'm like, fuck, this is like a show, and I don't want a fucking new thing just to fall flat.
Yeah, but when you try a new thing and it kills.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. Like, because I've been busier lately, I haven't been able to go to as many mics. So when I do get booked on a show, that's when I'll like try to fit in some new stuff. But I'm not going to do it unless I think it's going to do well.
Good,
But every mic you go to, you won't say it unless you think there's a possibility that it does well. So it's, I guess when you're at a show versus a mic, you got a better crowd most of the time with a show, right? As opposed to a mic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got a better chance for
Ideally.
a better reception.
Ideally, usually.
I do agree with that, though. Like, showcases, usually you could find better crowds there. So it is a little bit nice to workshop shit, because, like, working shop and shit at, like, Columbus Acts.
Especially if they paid to get in, it's like they have skin in the game.
Yeah, exactly. They want to see you succeed.
Yeah. Unless it's hype. They're like, we just want to sit here and fucking look at you.
I think you should up it to $5. I think $3. That's a crackhead number. You know what I mean?
I mean, he does bring. It is crazy though that he does keep a stable crowd. Respect to Bryson, man.
I think Bryson
a paid open mic, and he
Yeah.
brings a consistent crowd.
No, yeah, I do think Bryson has the most successful mic, maybe.
Yeah.
so far, made by a comedian.
By a
No
comedian.
Shame is definitely the most
Yeah,
successful.
but it's not really. That's like a
doesn't count.
performance.
But
thing.
that's fed off of donations from rich people.
And it's
Like,
not solely stand-up comedy.
No.
Even though it kind of was at one time, like it'd be over half comics. Last
Yeah.
year when I was going a lot, it was like I was so worried about getting booked because it'd be all of us, Mike Murphy, Jordan King, Houdini, Leroy,
Yeah.
James Edgerton. That's like 10 people right there.
Yeah.
And we're like, fuck, I hope I get on the list.
Dude, pre-pandemic, like before I was even doing comedy, dude, there was so many fucking comedians going through
remember
there,
that too.
and they were all like most people were like real. Like Gabe Davis was there at the time, fucking
Gabe's
crushing a lot. James Etchison was doing there a lot. Mike was doing there a lot. Mike would do this thing once a month where he would just say, all right, anybody from the crowd can roast me, and I'm gonna roast you
remember
back.
that, yeah.
And
Jordan King did that on his birthday last year, too.
Did he?
Yeah.
But yeah, but he didn't roast back.
Yeah, he just sat
got
there. Yeah.
roasted. Sat there and took it for his birthday.
Respect.
But I think the main thing preventing comedy from blowing up is honestly just the politics of comedy. Politics ruins everything.
You mean like overall or locally?
Both.
Well, both, yeah.
I
kinda.
think the big problem's always
I think locally too. I think it's very population dependent too. That's why I think the big cities do better. Is because literally, that's how you get diverse crowds, different people coming in every night. Because if you live in a town of, I mean, if we're talking like a really small town, like
Yeah.
how you can't open a comedy club there. It's
No.
like you won't be able to get.
yeah.
You might get like 3 regular people there.
Yeah, you can maybe do improv. That could at least be fresh, but
But yeah, it is dependent on population.
Y'all should come to the that improv class on
Blue
Saturday
Canary?
at some point. Yeah,
where is it?
Blue Canary.
I might check that out.
John, just walk over just keep playing your guitar and then just like slowly walk off stage and then walk over to the Blue Canary.
Yeah, he sees people doing improv. He just fucking decks them in the head.
What? It's on the spot.
I can finally film my sketch. I can finally film my sketch where I blow my brains out. You know?
Have it the same, like you do that while John's is punching this fucking improv guy. When Scott walks on stage and puts a gun to his head.
I'm like mad at you for taking
Yeah.
away my spotlight.
And then I walk past both of you to start doing my set.
Yeah, dude. What if we brought like a bunch of junkies into an improv class? Like, you guys better yes and this shit. And he's like,
Yeah.
he's just like scratching his chest and like talking about demons, and you're just like, yeah, you're right about that. The government is trying to give us rabies.
Yeah. He's just staring at like a dog cage full of Little Caesars pizzas with a lock on it.
It's like they're legally allowed to come do improv, dude. You have to let these junkies do improv. They're like,
Yeah, like why can't he do improv?
junkie improv, dude. It's another sketch idea, dude.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
sketch
2 good
idea.
improv related sketches.
Everything just keeps going back to going and getting drugs.
I remember a sketch that I thought of with a friend was like, we were kind of just riffing it out, but, like things. But it's like a secret agent that doesn't know how to read, but he has photographic memory. So he could like,
He can see the page, but he doesn't know what the fuck it says.
yeah. And he could like copy what he saw, but he doesn't know what it means.
Right, yeah, like he can wrote, I saw this guy murder so and so, but
Yeah.
he has no idea what the
Yeah,
words
what that
actually
means
mean.
at all.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
him, it's just symbols.
He could just make the shapes. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like if he copied Russian.
yeah, yeah. Fucking gibberish.
Yeah.
I was tired at work today, and I like wrote down a note of like a file to look at on Monday, and I was like, dude, I feel like the guy in Memento who's just like tattooing notes on his body, just like, don't forget to look at this thing Monday. I'm just like, what does that mean?
I actually haven't seen Memento.
Oh, you guys haven't?
I thought about we should watch movies and talk about it on
Damn.
the pod.
This guy gets messages tattooed all over his body because he can't remember things. So
Yeah,
he'll just,
after
like,
a certain
wake-
amount of time.
Did Family Guy do a bit about this?
Probably.
I'm sure.
Probably.
It's very
Probably
famous.
multiple.
Yeah, I think I've heard about this in Family Guy.
I saw Memento, but I was very drunk, so I couldn't like. I was talking to my friend about it, and he was like, because he recommended it to me. I was like, he's like, you see it? I was like, yeah, and I totally forgot what the twist was, so I was like making it up when I was telling him,
It's a good psychological movie. I'm into psychological movies.
and he was like, nah, dude, that wasn't the twist at all.
I remember I saw a YouTube video. Have you guys seen Toy Story 3?
Yeah.
And like how in the like towards the end they're all like
I can't recall.
in like a garbage pit going into like a lava or some shit. I don't know if you guys remember. It's like an incinerator in like the dump or something, about to incinerate them. Some guy edited it, so that's where the movie ended. Like all the characters close their eyes. It's like right before the claw comes and saves them, and then he fades to black and then shows the credits. And he like has his whole family sit down and watch Toy Story 3. And he's recorded their reactions to the fake ending.
Holy
And
shit!
then everyone was like, "What?"
That's genius.
Ed's there. They're all like, "Oh my god, I can't believe like
That's so funny.
the toys just burned to death in the dump."
Oh, another guy did that with Harry Potter, but he changed the wands to guns. And there's a really funny scene where like I think Neville is just like the goofy kid is standing there, and Hermione goes, "I'm sorry, Neville," and she like puts a spell on him that makes him fall asleep. But she goes, "Poof," and just shoots him, and he just falls down dead.
Yeah, but cutting Toy Story 3 to end there. That's if
Dude,
you,
that shit was so fucking funny. I was laughing.
did you
so
say
fucking
immigrant parents? Or just
hard.
parents?
I think they're just parents.
Okay.
I think they're like white, suburban, like maybe middle class.
I mean, how do you know that they're not like European?
I mean, they could be. I don't know. I mean, judging by the size of their TV.
How do you know they're not Scottish?
But that's wow, that's brilliant. Dude, if you could it's a dumb idea, but if
Make
you
the
could,
parents Scottish and then also cut it off there.
If you can make a parent Scottish, that'd be so fucking crazy. Yeah, what would be another good movie to like make it end?
I was
at,
trying to
like,
think, and I don't have anything off the top of my head.
Yeah, maybe Infinity War. Although it did end like that. It did end like that, but
No.
then in the sequel they fixed it.
Not as like heartbreaking, but like I guess you could just like cut Sandlot after they hit the ball over the fence.
well, they just can't get it back.
Yeah, yeah, they just know that they're just like, okay, it's a 5-minute movie. All right, yeah, I'm gonna kill myself. Fuck,
Yeah, nice fucking riff, dude.
guys, if I pull out my gun, dude, don't worry, it's just to fucking shoot myself.
Yeah, what if he just shoots the mics out of everyone's hands?
No, I'm just gonna put the mic in front of where I shoot, so the mic fucking takes me out technically.
Yeah, that's like your last bit.
Yeah.
You try to you put the mic right in front of the gun, and put your face near the mic. Yeah, I don't know what another good movie where you could like kind of just make it end, and you could devastate your family. I'm trying to think of a movie I've seen recently.
I'm trying to think of any movie where like a character gets sick and like makes it through.
You want to know one movie that's super overrated?
What?
Schindler's List.
Haven't seen it either.
Neither have I.
I haven't seen most things.
I just
honestly.
think that that was an old bit. I was gonna try to make work.
I thought you were gonna say Black Panther.
Yeah, I was trying to
Yeah.
think of a movie like this. Like, you guys know that really overrated movie?
I guess it'd be funny if like Spider-Man started and he gets bit by the spider and then it ends.
And then you get bit by a goat.
God damn, dude.
It just cuts to a different movie of that. What's his fucking name is in?
I feel like being a musician is. I guess being any kind of entertainer is so fucking embarrassing. I feel like.
Well,
It
especially
does feel gay at sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm up here just like, look at me, everybody, I'm
Dude,
singing.
that's how I feel almost like, especially lately, the way I've been doing like my shit. Every time I come off, I'm like, I'm a fucking whore. Like, I feel like, I don't know, like, I feel like I'm a fucking, like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, I'm at hype. Like, hey, college kids, look at
Yeah.
this old guy tell some jokes.
Yeah, it's fucking embarrassing. Especially, and then if you bomb, and it's being fucking stupid, like, dude, this fucker.
Sorry, guys, I'm trying.
yeah. When I said I was 32 on stage this past Wednesday, I felt like everybody just like got sad. All the college kids were just like, ugh.
Like, damn. Yeah. Yeah, aging isn't funny, I've noticed, unless you're very old. Because a lot of comedians try to do aging bits. It's not funny until at least you're past 40, I think. At least in what I've noticed and seen crowds and what I am receptive to.
Poor Max, dude. He gets the worst reactions when
Yeah,
he's like
getting.
I know,
I'm
exactly.
I'm getting older. I've been aging. I'm 21. Everybody's like, ah.
But I think he can improve that bit. I think that's actually a bit he can.
Yeah. No. I
It
like.
is kind of funny to be like, it sucks getting old, you know,
Yeah,
right? And
exactly,
you're 21.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 21 now. I could drink. I don't know.
You actually do have a lot of like hip culture reference, like rapping reference.
Yeah. But see, it's just because it's what I live, you know, because I'm a hip young guy. So. Yeah. But that kind of goes back to like talking about your own life and stuff, because that's what you're an expert in. You know, you're an expert on your own life, so I think that's always a good source to pull from. No one's a bigger expert on anything than your life.
Yeah, dude. I wish talking about weed wasn't so hacky.
Yeah, well, live a better fucking life. Do heroin. I don't know.
I wish I knew how to make bikes funny. I don't know how to do
Put a
that.
dildo on it. And every time you pedal, it goes up and down.
That's not always
Jackass did that.
And then the front wheel has a mechanism with a flashlight that goes forward and back.
You're just out in the woods with this?
I should be writing this down. I might have to make a patent. Has this been invented yet?
I don't think this is the one you should write down.
A dildo.
You got a lot of other good
flashlight
stuff,
bike.
but this, I don't think this is it.
You know what I mean? Like, cause like I can already picture how the mechanism works in my head.
I think I've actually seen a video of one of those.
Yeah, this
not
has been
like
done.
not like
This has been
fucking
done.
one, but like just like a concept of it.
I've definitely seen that too. I saw it and it's
I'm
always
trying to
funny.
backtrack away from my search history.
Yeah.
Okay,
not like an actual video of
Yeah.
it, but like
No, it's
okay, but
always
hear
funny
me
a
out.
bit about that.
The handlebar grips are dildos. Okay, just put more
Yeah.
dildos on the bike, and it's unique.
you guys ever?
But no, I think it's not the dildos, it's the pocket pussies. You need
let's
to add
not-
more
let's not
pocket
do that.
pussies to make it unique. Maybe the wheels are pocket pussies.
More.
We could do the world record for most pocket pussies and dildos on a bike.
Guinness would come right out.
Wait, so what's the point of this thing again? What are we trying to do?
Well, you're talking about how to make bikes funny or something.
Yeah,
And now we're trying to win a world record.
Now I'm trying to make money off this idea.
maybe that's the joke. Is just like, hey, we were trying to brainstorm this fucking joke, and Charlie got to fucking putting dildos and pocket pussies on the bike as a world record. That makes bikes funny.
Yeah.
CHARLAR podcast here. We're gonna blow up soon. This is
Oh yeah.
we're talking about the important stuff here.
Yeah, but by blow up, you mean like there'll be an accident. Like
That's
people-
more likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of us,
way more
Yeah.
likely, honestly.
Yeah.
one of us is gonna shit
We're
our
gonna have a
pants.
closed casket. Is kind of what you're saying.
I mean,
Way
who
more
first?
likely.
We about to do a suicide pact?
It'd be funny if we did a suicide pact and I'll just huddled around a grenade.
Yeah, we hold each other accountable.
One of us just starts running.
Yeah, but we grab your shirt, try to pull you in.
My accountability buddy on our
Yeah.
suicide pact.
Scott kicks everybody in the balls and runs.
John, you didn't chime in. What advice would you give a person trying to do comedy, or a younger version of yourself when you first started comedy,
Someone first starting comedy.
or yourself as a starting comic? If you could go back in time and tell
All
yourself
right, if
something.
it were me, because I didn't really start, but I did some open mics when I was like 25. I'd tell that kid, keep going, don't stop. Yeah, you had a panic attack, big deal. Keep going.
If I could talk to that kid, I'd say just stop.
God damn it! That was the next thing.
So you're a fucking bitch, dude.
I'm sorry, I should.
Invest in Moderna and sell it in 2021.
Really though, what I would tell that kid is I would say, I know you're new to this, like brand new. This is your first set, but start giving comedy advice right now.
Okay,
You
honestly,
should start-
what I would tell a kid is meet me behind with your pants off. Maybe behind anywhere with your pants.
If I could, I'd go back and be like, hey,
I'll make you a star.
if I go back to my first self, I'd be like, hey, chill on the edgy stuff and ditch the trans material. That took me a couple sets to figure that out.
I don't even remember your trans material.
It was honestly not that bad. It was like
I remember the string of sexual assault material.
yeah, yeah, that was bad. I had to learn that one too.
Crime.
But it was just about like, yeah, I was actually born a woman. I should start by saying I was born a woman, and I was like, I hope you guys aren't like transphobes. 'Cause I get a lot of hate about it because like I'm always getting shit online. People are just like, you're such a fucking weirdo. Oh, you're such a faggot. And I'm like, get off my page, mom. That's the joke. And it crushed my first set. And then I went to like a very progressive guitar open mic.
No
like,
shame.
Oh, no, it was rock and roll, but it was just acoustic guitar music. Like literally no comedians but me and
Right.
James Young. And I did that one, and they were like,
Boo.
Yeah, musicians are pussies.
Yeah.
I definitely noticed that. Musicians are definitely pussies. Not all of them.
Musicians are cowards, dude.
Yeah.
yeah, dude, they're huge fags.
Well, I think they're more. I think they're more sensitive about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, think about it.
But
They're
not
just
all of them.
moaning into a
Not all of them.
microphone.
Not John Fitzpatrick.
Dude, songwriting,
They won't give me a mic up there.
you kind of have to be like a special kind of douche to do like generic songwriting.
I think it'd be a special kind of douche to even do comedy.
True, yeah. Touche,
Yeah, we are all like a little douchey in our own way.
Oh yeah, I know I'm big douchey in your mom's way. I'm sorry, I don't
But
know.
I feel like you can almost say anything in music. You just be like, the birds were chirping in the autumn sky, and it's just like that's a fucking bar,
That's a
I
fucking
guess.
bar.
You'll-
Honestly, I caught that. Honestly.
Damn, Scott, I didn't know you were
Yeah.
gay.
This is what I tell
It's
everybody.
like, dude, that's just like fucking random shit thrown together.
Yeah, everybody I talk to, and they're like other comedians that come to watch us play, like the one or two times.
I'm not shitting on musicians. Also, I'm just
no,
saying,
no,
like,
no. I tell them comedy is so much harder. than
Yeah.
music is so much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't have anything to fall back. Like
And-
you're not
and-
just you can't just be a good player.
And
of
James
your-
was up. James was like, "Why? You're just up there talking." I'm like, "You have to write the jokes. You have to
Oh.
rehearse it. You have to move it around. You have to fix it." You know?
And if you're in a
can only
band, you kind of
practice when you're
share
all-
the tension.
Oh yeah.
And you have something that you can play.
And I feel like music's more subjective, really. I mean, comedy has a set of rules, you know? Even if it is,
It's
it
way
can be
more
pretty
make-
much anything you want it to be, but
Well-
music could be really anything.
And you
want
can play it very safe and play cover songs of just like songs that
That's
everyone
true, too.
likes.
Yeah.
If
True,
you- if
but
you-
I mean, even if you write your own songs, you can, if it could be some bullshit, and you do it at no shame, and people are like, all right, yeah,
Yeah.
but
if you can play the music well, it's like
Yeah.
if it
Yeah.
just sounds pleasing.
But like,
if
as much,
you're up there talking, people have to follow what you're saying.
Yeah.
You have to get to the punchline. You know, it's
Yeah, you
comedy's so
maintain
much
their
harder.
attention. I think it's the hardest part about comedy with music. You don't even have to be paying full attention to
It's
it.
very casual
Exactly. But comedy is an active listening.
Yeah.
Like, cause one thing that I've noticed has been helping me is keep asking the crowd. I've tried to keep asking the crowd questions. It's on like
yeah.
Google.com. You guys heard of that? That way I know they're actually still listening. Because if that gets a laugh, then okay, these people are listening. If people nod their heads, like they're listening, but you know,
And if people are listening, you just be like, look at these fucking retards over here. And then people start just like what'd he say?
And yeah, 'cause that's what I've been noticing. I think most comedians I'm watching need to work on, like myself included, like try to get the attention back. That's what's hard. Because like if you're doing monotone delivery throughout the entire time, they've tuned out. You have to kind of try to break away from that what feels like one note, and to get their attention back.
Dude, Rock and Roll's Thursday open mic is literally the biggest example. I wish James was here to vouch for this, but it's literally 23, 24 acts. It goes on for like almost 4 or 5 hours. Like it goes from
Damn.
it goes from 7:30 to 12, really.
Yeah.
shit.
And guitar, it's just guitar music the whole time. And then me and James would pop in and be like, hey, everybody. How you? And people are like so used to just the vibe of chilling and
Yeah.
talking and drinking. So like everyone's having conversations while people are on stage doing shit. And then I get on stage and I'm like trying to get people's attention. And like sometimes I'd go in there with the expectation like everyone's chilling and vibing. So they're not even gonna be paying attention. I'm just gonna work on my shit and just rep it out. And I'd get up on stage and then like a handful of people would be paying attention. I'm like, holy shit, these people are actually looking at me.
Yeah. See, that was what was bad about the Office show when I did it.
Yeah.
Because, they're not fucking paying attention. And so then I got them to pay attention, but it was in a bad way, and so they
Yeah.
fucking cut the mic. But I knew that's what I had to do. And that's the hardest thing, really, is try to get their attention. Because yesterday, when I did my set, it was kind of like restaurants are hard, or like bars and grills, like they're
Yeah.
hard. Because people are going there to chill and hang out. Sometimes they're just like, oh, let's go to this bar and grill. They don't know it's an open mic or a comedy night or whatever. and they just want to converse. They usually leave if you're lucky. If you're lucky, let's get up and walk out because like fuck this.
Yeah.
But if you're unlucky, they're gonna stay there and eat, and you're like fuck,
Talk.
hang out,
Yeah.
just talk, yeah. And you got to try to get them to interact with you, and then they kind of get pissed because you're like interrupting their conversation, but they don't understand that they're actually the ones being an asshole. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
because
it's a mutual, like, they didn't know there was going to be an open mic. They're
Yeah.
patrons of
Yeah.
the restaurant,
Yeah.
and you didn't know that they were going to show up and be assholes. You know?
yeah, exactly.
Well,
So, like,
perceivingly
yeah, because yesterday
assholes.
the host had a little bit of issue with that because like people laughing, so like the host kept like kind of like talking to them, be like, yeah, you know, or
That's one thing about hosting is that, and I think I've never done it before, but one thing I heard like a veteran host say is like an important thing that a host should do is start out and be like, hey, is this anyone's first comedy show? Has anyone not been to a comedy show? Like,
Yeah.
okay, well, this is what you're going to do. People are going to be working on stuff. So it's like, basically, and if they want to talk to you or interact with you, they'll address you up, like, don't yell out stuff because then they might go at you, or comedians might just start making fun of you. But they might ask you a question, you can respond to it, and just explain the basic outline of a comedy show. A lot of people haven't fucking been there, and we get used to it because we're at them multiple times a week that we can't even just think about someone just being there for their first time.
that's true.
Because
Yeah,
they
that
can
makes
be
me-
intimidating too. I was nervous when I went to my first live show.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually never thought about that. Like, and that actually is a really smart thing to ask. Like, is this anyone's first
Yeah.
open mic? Nah.
And
Yeah,
even if
'cause-
no one raises their hand, just be like, all right, just do a
Yeah.
quick rule breakdown.
Yeah,
Just like,
I do think
don't yell out,
I
blah,
think
blah,
probably the most important thing. This is my kind of limited mindset or like perspective, but it's like I think the way the room looks and like is presented, I think that matters the most. I think that will give you the most reception.
and the seating layout is important.
Oh yeah, like I think all of it has to work together. Like I think if it looks like a show, people will treat it like a show. But if it looks like a microphone in a bar, people are going to treat it like a microphone in a bar. And so the more you can make it feel like a show, like I think curtains would be nice, a spotlight, you know, things that make your mind say show. That helps. a ton.
Seating close to the
Yeah, seating
stage.
close.
Standing slightly
Yeah.
above the chairs, not
Exactly.
just standing on the
Yeah.
same ground level.
Because like I was thinking about it with like hype, like what can we do to improve this? Because that one's a rough space to try to improve.
It's that fucking thing that they have in the middle,
dead center.
which is what they need to get that
'Cause
out.
I was thinking they could
'Cause
try
it's
to
very
shove
weird.
everyone to the right, to shove everyone on the right side, so there's like a gap on the left.
When they, like,
Bryson
kinda
said
angle
that
the
they were
stage.
supposed to be taking
Yeah.
that out.
Yeah, he tried to do it, and he knows. He's brought that up.
Yeah.
He was the one who's brought it up a million times.
Yeah, I was just talking to him about it because I was like looking at the seat. I was like, how much freedom do you have over the seating arrangement? He was like, I could move them wherever. So me and him were just looking at it. I was like, fuck it. I mean, it's tough. Like,
Because
it's
we have
kind of
when we have big shows there, it's like we had Nick Murphy there, and we're trying to get as many tickets as we can, but we can't put anything behind that fucking pillar.
Yeah.
So you're just like, it's a U of
We
people.
should, you know what we should do is we should make the front couple of rows like no tables. Just
see,
like
but that's like
I think it should be more towards the front, honestly. Like I
no,
feel like
no,
it's
like
too
that's what I'm
back
saying.
here.
Like push it more to the front, but like take away some of the tables because the tables just take up too much room.
Yeah, you're right.
small
yeah.
tables. They need
Smaller
like talking
tables.
tables. The tables like these sizes.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
need
Talking
little
about like
tables.
at No Shame, it's seating. It's just chairs all up front.
Yeah,
and
because like I
tables.
think what would be ideal is like it's chairs and there's like a very low table in front of the chairs. Maybe like even as like the longer they are, the better. Like something like this, where like you're sitting in a chair, but this is your table, and there's no chairs on this side. Like
It's not bad though, honestly.
It's not bad.
For every room has like have you know Irish Bread Pub? We did that a few times. It's like you're in this corner, and then there's like a couch area that no one sits in, and then people sit behind the couch area.
Yeah.
And apparently it was popping before they put in that couch area. Like people used to like rage there, but that couch area like deadened that room.
odd.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, but
I know it has good bones, but
yeah, there ain't no
Yeah,
fucking
which a lot of
But,
places have.
there ain't no
good
life in it.
apparently they moved the stage more towards the middle. Like instead of being in that back right corner, it's like in the middle now. But they need to like take out the couch area
Yeah.
and put more chairs
Yeah,
and tables
I
there.
think with hype, the tables are too big. Because like I think
Yeah.
if the tables were much thinner, because those tables are like designed to have people on both sides because they're really wide. And so then if you just have people sitting on one side, it feels like wasted space. But I think that'll probably help the most because I think people facing each other, that's one of the biggest downfalls. Everyone needs to be facing the same direction.
Did you guys ever do Jack's Tavern?